Gives me memories of yesterday afternoon. Gives me memories of yesterday afternoon. Good morning, everybody. This is the Bet Online Salute Detroit podcast. We got our girl, Candice Davis Price, and we got our man, the CEO, the founder, Ryan Dyrud. How you guys doing this morning?
Great.
In the afternoon on the East Coast.
You're right. Good afternoon. Let's say good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
To our global audience.
Our global audience, because Jamal's in London. Jamal's in London right now, so it's already Monday. So happy Monday, Jamal.
Yeah. Candice, how many cups of coffee or how many cups of AG1 you already had? Since you're already noon over there.
Question. I've only needed 1 8-ounce of AG1 this morning. And it was probably 12 ounces, but my husband, he got about maybe 4 to 6 out of there before he was out.
Oh, so you got your husband on AG1 too. There you go. That's great.
Oh, yeah. So, Ryan, I'm going to need a new supply because the nose tackle in my house is like, oh, that looks good. And then slowly the travel pack started disappearing and the pouch in the back and the refrigerator is getting lower. So, yeah.
BP's rolling through it. That's good.
Rolling through it.
I got you. So we had the privilege and the opportunity to be in the end zone yesterday to watch the game. And I will say this, if you looked on LA, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to get out the way right now. If you looked on LAFB Twitter yesterday, me and Ryan did a halftime report, and I pretty much trashed the defense. And the problem was after
you were
looking
nice about it.
Yeah, but the problem was after looking at this is the best way to put it. It's not rap pretty, but the package still works, right? So when I looked at the stats, their third down conversion rate, San Jose third down conversion rate was 38.5%. That's perfect. They went 5 for 13. That you can't complain, right? SC 62%. On offense, they need to get way better. Can you please turn all your phones off? Thank you. Their offense could get better, right? And that's me being picky. They were 69% on offense on third down percentage. Championship teams need to get really, really good teams are in 80%, right? They convert every time. Like I said, the picture of their defense did not look good, but when you look at the stats, it was a better, right? They gave up 7 in the third, 7 in the fourth. They gave up 14 points in the second quarter. It was the final score 28-56. I'm good with it because when you think about it, and I'm just getting this out the way right now because just in case it comes back in, when you think about it, if Lincoln Riley is always set to score 40 plus. So if you keep the team that you're playing to 28 points, then
4 stops. That's
4 stops. Somebody told me last year, SC has to have 4 crucial stops, and where those 4 stops happens always is on a matter, and that's how they win the game. And that person was Ryan Dyrud. And that was one of the most important things. And that's once we got later in the season last year, we actually were looking for those 4 stops. And I could remember us telling Tex, like, this is one of those stops that we need, right? So as long as you score 40 to 50 points a game, then 28 points isn't that bad. It just doesn't look good. And I think that we're spoiled and we're used to seeing very, very elite defenses, that doesn't really give up big plays. And they gave up a lot of big plays. They drove the ball down on their first drive. Not the first drive, maybe their second drive. It just didn't really look good to the fans. But numbers-wise, it wasn't that bad. They gave up a lot of rushing yards, so they almost gave up 200 rushing, and that could get you in trouble down the line if you want to win a national championship and compete as a national contender. But I think that's some stuff that they could fix up. I still have an issue schematically with the edge of their defense. They do not have an edge on their defense, and that really, really bothers me, like scratches at my skin. So that's neither here nor there. Let's roll over to Ryan because Ryan was there, and I'm pretty sure Candice watched the game, but Ryan was there. We'll get your opinion, then we roll to Candice. Ryan, what do you think about yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, you hit all the key points. I think, it's week 0, week 1, whatever you want to call it, and there's going to be some growing pains.
Week 0. It took me a while to get used to that.
Yeah, I know. It's funny how they do that since only a handful of teams play. But, I think we knew there was going to be growing pains on defense when you have, 8 new starters, essentially.
Correct.
And so, schematically or not, there was going to be some stuff they're going to have to work through. I thought overall, the product was better. They gave up some big plays. I think you look at, that touchdown, that incredible touchdown catch on the right corner of the end zone. right before the half. That was, that was just a perfectly thrown ball, perfect catch. You can't even defend that better. They could have done better on the previous play to not let them get down there. But aside from that, Al, I feel like the biggest issue was containing the quarterback, and whether that's setting the edge, like you said, or not being gap sound in the middle. But Cordero, super talented guy. He's been there a while at San Jose State. They run a fun offense. I saw you guys did some film breakdown, but half their big plays were him just, breaking loose on third and longs or situations where he was able to escape the pocket and run it with his own legs. So I thought they contained running backs pretty good in the run game. It was more the quarterback getting outside that got into that 198 rushing total. They had, ironically enough, 198 rushing, 198 passing, exactly the same amount on each side. So, we'll get in the offense in a minute, but I thought defense, it wasn't, everyone was expecting this to be like a shutout game and, the dominant days of the old, 04, 05, see like a Lofa Tatupu type performance out there as a backer or whatnot. We're not there yet, but I personally saw some improvement. There's still a long way to go though.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll ever be there though. I don't think we'll ever be there again, but
no. I don't. Defense won't ever be there again, period.
Right. It's just a different game. I don't think we'll ever be there. I think I'll say this. When I played, is if you give up 21 points, you'll lose. I think now it's if you give up 35, you lose. There's so much that's changed. You know what I mean? So because it's the way the offenses are and how much points they put up. Where are you going to go ahead, Candice?
Yeah, so I got to jump into the offense. I'm sorry. You guys, the defense, the analyzing, the stats, I'm a speed girl. Zachariah Branch. Quincy Watts, the head coach at USC, please go down there and get with that football coach about getting him to whatever level of track practice he can come in the spring. He was impressive. He was explosive. And when we say it doesn't get back to those old days, there was a little remnants of that excitement and that explosion that I remember. The defense made it look easy, right? When you had the Sean Cody's and the Frosty Ruckers and Cedric Ellis, it made it look easy. I don't break down defenses like you. That's not where my expertise lies. So I'll leave that with you. But I enjoyed watching even Caleb Williams, when he most impressive, the level of composure he had, right? With the little fumble with the ball. I'm like, that's a championship quarterback. So I enjoyed the offense. The defense, it was a bit disappointing, but I'm just be honest with you. Like, I was a college athlete. You don't come out looking for perfection. I know fans, what they want to see. I know fans are critical of coaches. I know fans are critical, but like, you're knocking the rust off. Guys have been in camp. The legs are flat. You're not supposed to be fresh right now. So I'll let you guys break that defense down and get all the likes or dislikes for it. But Zachariah Branch, sprinting all day. He's on my 4x1.
Candice, let me ask you this, since you're the track star. What's a really good 100-meter time? Like at the collegiate?
Boys collegiately, they're running 10. The guys are running like 990 now, 10 flat.
I'm about to say 10 flat. Okay. They're in the 9s now in college.
So he was asked in the press conference afterwards what his 40 and 100 time was. He said his 40 he ran somewhat recently. He ran a 4.38. That's impressive. And then his 100, he hasn't run since he was a sophomore in high school, and he ran like a 10.3 as a sophomore in high school.
10.3 as a sophomore is crazy.
And he hasn't run it since.
10.3 in California, you're talking about he's making it to the CF finals. Also, he's probably not training like an actual track athlete. He's doing X's and O's and all types of stuff. That is pure talent speed. Tyreek Hill used to hold the state record in the 100 meters actually in Georgia, and track is his first love, but he was impressive. Zachariah Branch.
Yeah. Oh, like Ro, I thought coming in, sorry to keep cutting you off. I thought coming in, I was like, all right, Zach Branch is going to be special. We saw him in the spring game. You never know how much freshmen are going to be used, especially with how deep the receiving core is. But I was like, all right, Zach Branch, this kid's special. He's going to be at least like a part of the offense. I did not think in week 1 he would be arguably the best receiver already in the field. Dorian Singer looked great. Rice had his touchdown. Taj Washington obviously had the big 75-yard touchdown, but Zach Branch, to me, was the best receiver on the field already week 1, which is impressive. So
2 things. I'm going to give you guys 2 things about Zach Branch, right? I got multiple texts yesterday from multiple people saying Zach Branch looked like a former player that used to play at USC. I'm not going to give him that yet, but there's potential.
Who?
There's potential. I don't want to say because you're going to get upset, but he looks like I don't want to give him that yet. Right, it's been 1 game, but there's potential. I'm not going to take that away from him. Here's the second thing. If I am I was gonna say Lane Kiffin. I'm so sorry. If I'm Lincoln Riley,
Lane Kiffin. So
Easy.
if I am Lincoln Riley, I am using Zach Branch. You ready? I'm using Zach Branch like Florida used Percy Harvin, and like West Virginia used Steve Slayton. Right? That was receiver, right? Or Steve Slayton was Steve Slayton.
Oh, West Virginia, that was no, the guy the Rams drafted?
Yeah.
You're talking about? Tavon Austin?
Yeah. Tavon Austin. I'm using using Zach Branch like Tavon Austin and Steve Slayton. Bunch of fly sweeps, bunch of bubbles. He's a receiver. He can be a running back at time. Kind of like how 49ers are using Deebo Samuel. That needs to become Zach Branch. But Zach Branch doesn't need to run inside zone power stuff. Zach Branch needs to run out off the tackle stuff just to get to the edge. But he's going to be a multiple threat. And the stronger he gets, the faster he gets, the bigger he gets. They're going to have to change his number because his number might be retired if he keeps at this pace. And number one in the end zone is not. Did
he outshine Caleb Williams yesterday?
He didn't out. No. Hold on. Stop. Don't go.
Okay.
I say yes. I say yes.
I disagree. So Logan Dalwell, no, it's not Marquise Lee. It's this dude that they were comparing Zach Branch to is way better than Marquise Lee.
Are you talking about a Trojan? You're talking about a Trojan, right?
They compare Zach Branch to a former Trojan.
Okay.
Like
I know who you're talking about. I won't say it. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't want to give him that yet, but he has the potential to become that.
Of course, yeah. One game in.
Yeah. Everybody, multiple tests.
But are we saying that running back had a complimentary running back to make him that running back?
Oh, we're not going to go down that road. We're talking about last night's game. We're talking about last night's game. Anyway, so I will use Zach Branch like Deebo Samuel, right? Deebo Samuel, Tavon Austin, Percy Harvin. That's what he is. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get faster, and he's going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate, no doubt. He was impressive last night. Like, I will say this. To me, in my opinion, he was runner-up to Caleb Williams. I will tell you this. My first time watching Caleb, I'm a fanboy here, and I hate fanboying, but I haven't seen this since I played at SC, right? I was at the Fresno State USC game my senior year of high school. And I watched that game in person, and I saw what Reggie Bush did when he threw his team on his back and won that game, right? Watching Caleb Williams just in a game like this, you see all the upside. I've never seen a quarterback that is that slippery. I've never seen a quarterback that has his eyes down the field the whole time while he's running. It wasn't a mistake by him winning the Heisman Trophy last year. And like I told Candice on when we did our podcast, if Caleb Williams is 1% better than he was last year, he's still better than the rest of college football. Just 1% better. He's still better than the rest of college football. I didn't even realize he threw 4 touchdowns yesterday. Right? That's how good he is. And it's a silent good, like, typical day out the office, 4 touchdowns.
It's just another Saturday.
Like watching that dude is great. Now, watching that offense and watching how many weapons they have is going to be crazy. They have 3 running backs that are good. They have 6, 7 receivers. I don't understand. So you can only travel, I think, 56 on Pac-12 games.
55.
It's 55, right? I don't remember. It's been a while. But how are you going to be able to set your travel list? What receiver do you leave behind? Right? Like, like that's the issue that they have. But
USC has a good way to find a way around, things like that.
Right, but they're really good on offense. They have multiple weapons on offense. That's what's going to make them dangerous, right? And now I'm at the point to where, as long as the defense doesn't give up over 35, we got a really good chance of being a very dominant team, right? It's not Alabama, we're not Georgia, and that's fine. I get it. We don't have to worry about Alabama and Georgia until the new year, until 2024. All we have ahead of us are these next 11 games that are on our schedule, and the Pac-10, our Pac-12 opponent that we play in the the Pac-4 opponent that we pay that we pay for. So those are the things that we have to worry about. We don't have to worry about the playoffs because we can't control that, right? So if we keep teams to 35 and that offense keeps doing what it does, I think this will be a pretty special season.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Candice.
Oh, I mean, I don't know Lincoln Riley too well, and I know Al's a real fanboy of Riley, but I feel like he was giving you just a taste. I also felt like, we're 6 in the polls, so there wasn't anything that was like that we didn't already know that we were going to see. I thought maybe we'd see more of Caleb, but I also feel like the leader that he is, he wanted to show those weapons and wanted to give them an opportunity to shine. So I don't know if it was a true competition about who could shine. And I think there's a lot of pressure on his back to, do what hasn't been done but one other time to win this Heisman. But I did like seeing that everyone was involved and there were multiple weapons. So if I am looking at game film coming against USC, I'm definitely a bit nervous. And I'm also thinking, like, looking at Riley, and I don't know him like you know him, Al, but I'm getting to see, like, he's a strategic guy. He's playing chess. There's no way that was everything that Lincoln Riley had. And that is the scariest thing.
Yeah. And I love how balanced they were in offense. 35 passes, 34 rushes. I've been saying all offseason, if, in my opinion, the only reason if Caleb Williams doesn't win Heisman again, stats are down. Not because he's not capable and good enough, but they might just spread the wealth among all those players, and he just doesn't quite have the statistical stats that he had last year. But it won't be for lack of talent or discipline or leadership or anything like that, because he's the best player in America. I mean, there's no question about it. It's just he makes the game look so simple. And it's, I've watched him live now for, all of last season, every home game and the Pac-12 game. But seeing what was cool about this game Saturday, Ali, yesterday was, we were down field level. So you kind of see a different level. And it just, and granted, this is San Jose State. We're not talking about Utah. We're not talking about Oregon. We're not talking about Washington. So we're taking it with a grain of salt, but never was there like a fear that he couldn't get out of any situation. Like, I think they took that one sack, which ended up leading to that punt, which led to their scoring before the half. So that was unfortunate. But outside of that, it's like, he's going to escape the pocket. He's going to, make a play happen. He's going to extend the play further, either with his legs or with his arms. So, I mean, it's just, it's an honor to watch him, honestly.
Yeah. And just to put the icing on the cake, and my brother disagrees with this, he fumbles the ball, all of a sudden picks the ball up, knows to look downfield, and throws a 92-yard touchdown.
92 yards?
92-yard touchdown. Throws a 92-yard touchdown.
75 yards.
It was 70. Oh, the drive was 92 yards.
The drive was 92, yeah.
The drive, okay, so it's 75
yards. Not taking anything away. But.
Yeah. Hold on, I want to address something here. Y'all want to see me work? So my man right here said, I hate the way that Cam Life. I hate the way that Grinch crashes down, which sometimes takes out a 3 technique. If our quarters bail, we have no containment. The linebackers don't get there in time. All right, so Cam, let me explain something to you. Let me explain what Alex Grinch does. Alex Grinch uses the linebackers as what's called secondary contain. So if you ever watch them, you always see the linebackers chasing the quarterback because all they are hook curl players and use secondary contain. I agree with you. I don't like this method, but the containment is not on the corners because they play kind of like a cover 3. So the corners are gone because they're on top of the routes the whole time. So the containment is the secondary contain with the backers. If it was me, I will set the edge with the defensive ends, get to the upfield shoulder of the quarterback so your upfield shoulder is out so they could go back in. So that's why it is the way it is. It's not – a lot of teams do it. It's just the secondary contain doesn't always work because sometimes you are in coverage. So that is how it works. That's why. And also he said – hold on. I'm sorry. He said – newsflash, USC looks skinny out there after the D-line. You should go look at Bear Alexander. That man's a monster.
Well, after the D-line, he said. After the D-line. So everyone on the back end looks skinny out there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it is what it is. That's how football is.
Bear's a bear.
Now. Yeah, that's you're saying that's the Bear Alexander. Defensively, though, Mason Cobb is good. I don't care what people say. Mason Cobb is really good. And Mason Cobb is 53.5. Like, let him get settled in his defense. We're going to hear a lot of Mason Cobb. And that youngster, number 25, he's not bad either. He looks like a rookie. He is a rookie. That's fine. But starting him was a great idea. I was really impressed with Mason Cobb. And what's his name? Trask, right? I was impressed. Tackett Curtis. I was impressed with him.
Yeah.
He's not bad. And so they put him in a bad situation with the secondary contain. He's not fast enough for most quarterbacks now. If this was old school football where he had secondary contain, where he's got to chase a Peyton Manning type or Tom Brady type, he'll be a killer. But these quarterbacks can run now, and linebackers can't really catch quarterbacks now. So they need to start setting the edge and make them go up the middle. But that's neither here nor there.
So I hear you breaking down, you have a elite level breakdown of defense. Are there any concerns though that this doesn't pan out how it should? Because I hear you saying like you can see it from a coach's perspective, you see it from an athlete's perspective, and you're able to defend it as a podcast host. But I was concerned as a fan, not even as an athlete or someone that broke it down. Like that just looked like there was so much exposure that I'm like, if I'm watching game film on USC, I know exactly what to do. And let's just keep it real. San Jose State wasn't some poo-butt team. And like you mentioned the other day when we did our show, there's a lot of guys I bet you on that roster that would have killed and died to be on a USC roster. And with that transfer portal and people like Zachariah Branch, they didn't make the cut. So they weren't shabby. That's
a good point right there. They had a top 15 defense. Well, they didn't look top 15 last night. They gave up 501 yards and 56 points.
That's why USC's so good.
Right. So, all right. So, like I said when I first started this,
it's a great question, Candice, by the way.
That is a great question. So, so here's how I'm gonna put it to you. Let's say your husband gave you a gift and he wrapped it in a grocery bag, in a brown paper grocery bag, right? And you're
Sounds like most husbands.
And you're like, what is this? What is this? You open it up and it's a 13-karat ring. And you're like, oh, wow. Like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Real diamonds, white gold, everything. $45,000 gift. But he gave it to you in a brown paper bag, and you're like, ugh.
So, but my husband is from Crenshaw, so like that's not too far off of it. But I get where we're going.
You should also have your husband tell you cannot be from Crenshaw. You're from LA.
I know, he reminds me all the time, and I tell him I'm from Ann Arbor, the suburb. So when I see Crenshaw, Spencer James in South Crenshaw, it's a real thing. He's like, stop.
Yes.
So the package that SC defense delivered last night was wrapped in a brown paper bag. When we opened it up, it was a 1-carat ring. Like I said, after looking at the numbers, I mean, they do need to fix their rushing, but most of the rushing was quarterback scramble. And that's a scheme thing, right? Stop using the linebackers as secondary contain. Use your defense in and make the quarterback step up, right? Even if you were to talk to your husband, say, is it better to use secondary contain with the linebackers, or is it better to make the quarterback step up? If you make the quarterback step up, the linebackers are already there. Use secondary contain. The problem is sometimes you have to catch, carry, and deliver. So if there's a route that comes across, you have to carry that route to the next backer. And then all of a sudden you see the quarterback contain. I might be off by 2 yards. I have to go and go back and contain the quarterback. Most times by that time, he's already got 3 yards. So secondary contain is a safe play from keeping the quarterback from running down the field 1,000 yards. I don't like that, right? I'm all about getting sacks. So make the quarterback step up. My theory as a defensive coordinator is I want to put your offense in second and long. I want to put you in as many passing situations as possible because low-key, any down and long situations, those are low percentage pass plays. Most of the time it's on second and long. Once you're in second and long, you're going to try to get some yards back. If you're in third and long, you're chucking it. Right? You're not even going to try to get the first down. You're chucking it. That's a low percentage play. I want to create as many low percentage plays as possible. Alex Grinch just wants to keep them from scoring a whole bunch of points. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the philosophy is, because Lincoln wasn't really upset yesterday. Like, we were there. He wasn't really upset. And this is me assuming. I could only assume, right? He didn't seem like he was upset. So it was more like, hey, like, what happened? Nothing, blah, blah, blah. I think, but like you've seen upset head coaches at coordinators. So I think that just contain it. The defense is taught to contain it, and I could get it. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I'll just add on that. In the presser, he definitely, I wouldn't say upset, but definitely was not satisfied. Like, you could tell he was like, not disappointed is not the right word, but basically was like, we got a long way to go. So I think he definitely saw all three facets, getting up that onside kick late in the game on special teams and then the defense. I think there was some good thing. Basically, the theme of the press conference was inconsistency. Like, it was like, we did some good things. We just didn't consistently put together. Defense had some really nice drives, some 3-and-outs. and they gave us some really bad ones. Offense had some poor. So I think he definitely seemed reserved, if you will, or was happy with basically he kept saying we're happy we want to know, but we got a lot of work to do.
Well, go ahead, Candice.
When you say low percentage, I don't think about that. And my husband always reminds me, he's like, there's no perfect play. People are missing the gap. They're misreading this. There's no perfect. So I'm not looking for perfection, but I do think that is important to even say with your fans, like low percentage. If you're playing what team and knowing your audience, what play you're running, because low percentage, that's important to remember, keeping that in perspective. So I appreciate that, because that was a good connection for me. I'm looking for the perfect play. I'm looking for perfect coverage. That's not real, right? You're looking for low percentage. You want
to be in the best low percentage play as possible. Now, here's the deal. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. These dudes already broke down Nevada last week, right? Nevada's already broken down. Today, they're going to run the numbers. Low percentage for Nevada might be 3rd and 5. You get what I'm saying? High percentage might be 3rd and 7. We don't know that. So put in Nevada in the 3rd and 5, and this is just an example, but put in Nevada in a 3rd and 5 might be the best situation for the defense because they're able to stop it, right? Putting Nevada in 3rd and 7 might not be the best situation for the defense because of all the plays that they have. So there's a bunch of stuff that we don't know that's going on behind the scenes as numbers are in, but you want to put your defense in the best situation possible, right? So you try to put them in those low percentage plays. I will say this yesterday about the defense. I did not see a lot of blitzes, which I understand. And I'll tell you, I understand why, because a lot of their blitzes are fire zones. And what a fire zone is that you're blitzing and you're running zone behind it. And that is so complex. And just on the base level, running a fire zone is, who am I replacing? Oh, the flat guy is leaving. So do I replace the flats, or is there somebody else who replaces the flats? There's a lot of complexity to fire zone defenses. And I just don't think they're there yet. We will eventually see it, I'm sure, but I just think, there's a lot of complexity to it, but I'm not too worried about that because they kind of got lucky and they got a preseason, right? They kind of get an NFL preseason. They get Nevada, they get Stanford, which is the last weekender at USC, unfortunately, and then they start to get into the crux of things and start to get into a real schedule. But the fact that Ryan said, and he addressed, there's a lot of inconsistencies. This was the measuring stick, right? And every time on game one, even Pete said it to us, we're not there yet. We're not good enough. This is what we need to fix, right? We knew we were going to win, but this is what we need to fix, and this is what they're telling us that we need to fix. And we see what needs to be fixed. I think schematically, they need to set an edge on the defense. They're not going to do it. They're going to keep the secondary contained. I would like to.
I'm going to be calling you in the booth next week to run some plays.
It'll take a long time. I need a whole camp. I will say this, and I stick by this. I stick by this. I will say this. They did not get better on the offensive line. And everybody's worried about Alex Grinch hurting them. I think the offensive line is going to be SC's kryptonite. You play a defensive line that doesn't care about the interlock SC on your chest, it's going to be trouble. I don't think they got him any better on the offensive line. And for that, I put on Lincoln Riley, and that's really bad. I thought they would understand that they weren't good enough on the offensive line last year. They haven't gotten better on the offensive line, and they need to get way better on the offensive line. And their main focus in the transfer portal and recruiting this next year needs to be the offensive line because they're not better at all on the offensive line. There's no reason why in the third quarter, Caleb Williams should be running for his life against San Jose State. And I'm not taking anything away from San Jose State. Those are Division I athletes, but SC's just a little better, right? And there's no reason why. There's no reason why he should be consistently running for his life. And I get Caleb holds the ball for a long time, right? But sometimes he didn't even get a chance to hold the ball. They're not better. They have not gotten better up front. They should have ran for 200 yards. They did not run for 200 yards, and that's because it took them 4 attempts to score the ball in the red zone, and that's on the offensive line. If you can't score in the red zone, that's the offensive line. They gave who's my guy from South Carolina, Ryan, number 0.
Marshawn Lloyd.
They gave Marshawn Lloyd two carries. They gave number 21 a carry, and they finally brought in Austin Jones, and he ran the ball in on 4th and goal. That's terrible as an offensive line. If you're within 10 and you're running the ball, you should score within 2 plays. they need to get better up front if they want to be a national competitor. I don't even think the defense is the worst part of SC. I think the front five is the worst part, and that's the part that they really need to fix really fast if they want to be as good as they really want to be.
Look at the defensive guy getting fiery about the offense. I love it.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you. We lost power out here thanks to you guys sending Hillary to the East Coast, so it was real spotty with me. But that's something I don't check. And my husband, he's like, that's where the trenches, that's where it goes down, that's where the football game, that's where it happens. And to the regular naked eye, we do not see that. We see Zachariah Branch. But there is no Zachariah Branch if you don't have the right up front, and that's just what it is. So maybe, Caleb, you got to get out there and get real Tom Brady with your O-line, making it happen. You will protect me. You will protect me. You will protect me.
Yeah. What I'll add, I agree with everything you said, Alfred. I think, like the defense, I think the offensive line is a work in progress too. They were running a rotation, which is kind of rare on offensive line, like rotating eight guys the whole game. And so you sometimes don't get that true consistency having the same five. And center Justin Dedich, we asked him that in the presser, and they've practiced it all fall, practiced it all week, doing that rotation in real time. But I think that's where you saw some inconsistency there is, once they find their true starting five, which they need to do rather quickly, obviously getting to the meat of the schedule, I think we will see improvement. Now that's just me assuming. We got to see it, because obviously that is the most important part, is keeping Caleb upright and giving an opportunity and getting this rushing game going. Because I agree. I think that was on behind the scenes that not everyone sees. Everyone sees the 28 points defense gives up, but the offensive line was probably a little more disappointing overall than the defense was. So, but I think when they get that true starting five figured out, I think we will see a big improvement. Because you remember last year, same thing with the offensive line. Kind of started slow, and as it went on, it became a strength. And all of a sudden, it's like, the offensive line is way better than everyone expected. I think we'll see kind of a similar trend this year. As the season progresses, it'll get better.
Yeah, and it sucks when you have your brother who went to the University of Oregon saying, "Oh, that's a sack. That's a sack when he plays Oregon. That's a sack when he plays Oregon." And my brother played defensive line, so he's looking. All
D line guys say a sack when you're 10 yards away. They say a sack.
So he said, "That's a sack. That's a sack." So that's definitely the thing. Overall though, impressive game. I wasn't disappointed in the game. I think the crowd was great. Believe it or not.
Does anyone know what the attendance was? I didn't see it. So
I could 67,000. It was 67,000.
That's not bad. Not bad.
And it only seats 85 now.
77.
85
it seats 77 now. So for them to have 60,
they removed Reggie Bush's thing from did that give them more seats, or that's a whole other conversation?
Less seats because it used to sit 100.
So I thought it was like 95. Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad.
The main change was just on where the press box is. They added a bunch of suites, so it's less just seats, like suites up there. So the most of it is still the same. The peristyle is the same. The student section all wrap around. It's just the side with the press box is less because it's only like one level now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will tell you this. So what is it? Nevada, Stanford, and then it's on the road. By the time I say game,
Colorado would be the first, or Arizona State is the first road game.
Arizona State, who do they play after Arizona State?
Colorado.
The Colorado game is going to have everybody there.
Pass.
We need to be at the Colorado game because of Deion.
Well, sorry. Colorado's at Colorado. So they got Nevada, Stanford, then they go on the road against Arizona State and Colorado, and then they're back home against Arizona.
By the time they play Arizona, every seat will be filled there. It'll be the hottest ticket in town again.
Again.
It will be.
Yeah.
It'll be the hottest ticket in town again because they'll be what's that, 5-0?
5-0. Yeah.
They'll be 5-0.
It's going to be 100. I'm from the Midwest. USC fans can be pretty fair weather. So I'm really hoping what you're saying is
that's just LA. That's just LA in general.
Is it just LA? Because it's
a Miami thing too.
Is it because we didn't have Michigan didn't play because the entire town shuts down? There's 115,000 people. probably at least 120. It's insane. So 67,000. Yeah, USC. I'm gonna need us to come up, show up, and show out. Don't jump on the bandwagon at the end.
No, it seats 77,000, but you also got to remember 0 week. People didn't even realize it was a game. But once it gets into the no, seriously, people didn't. They was like, "Oh, football started." Like they didn't really advertise it very well. Oh, light bulb. My cousin, light bulb. He looked it up. The attendance was 63,411. Good job, light bulb. I appreciate you.
I don't want to even dig into that name too much, but thank you.
No, but yeah. So by the time they come back, they'll be full 77 for sure. It'll be full 70. And we got to remember, there's 9 million people in LA County, right? There's 9 million people in LA County. So even if the Rams, just put it like this, if the Rams, Dodgers, Lakers, because those are the only teams that matter, and SC play all on the same day, there'll still be an influx of people doing other things. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the 110, the 405 will let you know that real quick.
Yeah, there's still be an influx in a bunch of things. So that's I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So it got loud. That's what I wanted to mention too. Candice, it got loud. At one point we needed a big third down stop, and it got loud. Like I was like, okay, like this is the Coliseum I know. The issue that I have is the bell on third down is not loud. You remember when it's third down and they rang the bell? The bell's not loud. They just do it for a little bit and that's it. The bell's not loud. The bell's I don't know how we have to fix that. Like, do we need to get a campaign going? We need to talk to Jen because that bell and people.
Yeah, Candice, talk to your best friend Jen and get that going.
Yeah,
again.
Talk to Jen. That bell.
I got time today. I'm looking for a reason to get with her. And you're right. It is spoiling. The last time I was in the Coliseum, so I covered Michigan football last year. So it's been almost a year since I've been to the Coli. And it was a little bit cricketish. I rarely got out my steam too much. And your boy, the wide receiver, Langdon. Drake London. For his ACL in the end zone, and that's the last game I've been to in the Coli. I'm like, I ain't been here all season. It's the last time.
Oh, you're at that game? Maybe don't come back.
I was like, oh man. So it's been a while since I've been there. And yes, the big house has been a bit spoiling. They get loud for. I think they got Coastal Carolina coming up, and I'm sure it'll be packed.
Well, just remember, because I agree. I mean, I've lived in LA now since 2008, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. Like, I know how football is everything in Denver. Sports are everything in Denver. LA has the stigma, like everyone knows about. I didn't get into it. But also remember, outside of that 17 Rose Bowl, SC's been like a dumpster fire for a decade. Michigan's been like relevant for 20 years. They've been in contention every single year. So I think when SC gets back to this prominence that we've seen now starting last year, it's just going to build and it'll be back like the Pete days. And it's just going to be full every single week. Because when SC's good, I truly believe when SC's good, they can compete with the Lakers and Dodgers as like their town.
Hands down.
LA being their town.
Hands down.
I've been in that situation before to where we were the pro team and we got a lot of things that we should have not gotten because we played SC.
They were
and now you're allowed to.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But the bell needs to come back. Like Ryan, so you first came here in 2008. Did you go to a game in 2008?
Not in 2008. I can't remember my first game. I went to Long Beach State, but we would go to SC and that other school games because we didn't have a football team. So sometime in that 2008 to 13. Right.
So I don't know after Pete left, but I know the bell was a big deal. And
absolutely.
When the bell rang on third down, the fans got going. See, he wants the bell back. Even little Bo Rowe wants the bell back. We need the bell back. So I don't know how we could bring the bell back.
No, I definitely, there were some electrifying moments from the game, and I see what you're saying. Like, not unfortunately, but that Trojan War era is imprinted on my mind. But this new era, they only know stuff based off of YouTube and ESPN 30 for 30. So this era right here could be an opportunity to like kind of resurrect just a bit. It won't be the same, and I don't think it needs to be the same. It needs to be, you're hearing me say this live. It needs to be Lincoln eras. It needs to be his era.
I agree. I got a quick question for you. And I'm not saying SC would ever do this, but you know how Vatech has Enter the Sandman and like some of these other schools have these crazy like walkout song traditions.
Yeah.
Like how cool would it be when the Trojans are coming out of it? Because they play that like kind of cool video and then they run out of the tunnel. But how cool would it be if they do like a true like play it for a full like minute or two LA song like To Live and Die in LA, California 11, one of those songs, get the crowd going, and then they run out. Like I think that would be so hype if they do that.
So when I was there, it was the Eminem song. The dun, 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 dun,
Detroit,
that was like
but they need to do an LA song.
Yeah.
Even if it's like Guns N' Roses.
You would have Bloods and Crips in the parking lot on Martin Luther King. And
that ain't true. Don't listen to that girl. You could play Live and Die in LA, or you could play California Knows How to Party. But what's the name of that song?
California Love, Dr. Dre.
California Love.
Yeah, California.
People lose their mind. You would,
I agree. It's just here's the problem, Ryan. The problem is that all the traditional boosters there's still some traditional boosters there.
Oh yeah.
We just got to Black Socks. We just got to Black Socks. And when I was there, we had to wear white socks. Dwayne Jarrett wore black socks and he had to go see Mike Garrett. Like we just got to Black Socks. So it's
too soon for live or die in LA.
It's a little too soon for live and die in LA. Like we just got the Coliseum renovated. Like you know what I mean? Like baby steps. Let's just take baby steps.
As they say in the great movie Anchorman, the times they are a changing. So it's
I like that.
We might even get lucky and get an alternate uniform one day. All gold with cardinal numbers. Look at that. Are all black with
bring the chrome helmet back. Bring the chrome helmet back.
No, the chrome helmet was bad luck. We don't want anything from the Helton era. Anything else in the Helton era could stay where it is and just burn it. Candice might not be allowed to come to games because Drake London got hurt when she went. So we got to talk about that one.
I definitely felt a tad bit responsible. I was like, I haven't been to a game. What the? Maybe I go to the other school up in the Pasadena. I go visit theirs for a little bit. Kind of even it out.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the last. I mean, I was in that end zone, and I was like, "Okay, where's your things? It's time for me to go."
Yeah, luckily didn't ruin his prospects. Still the first receiver taken, wide receiver U.
Yeah,
it used to be tailback U, quarterback U. It's whatever you. When we're good, it doesn't matter.
The University of Southern California. Let's just say it.
There it is. And just like I told Jamal, we have this chip on our shoulder just because we're better than you.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think.
I won't go too deep in it, but I just believe our personnel, from admin to athletic, it should represent that we are an exclusive group. What's that?
Definitely.
Did you say that acceptance rate to Ryan to Long Beach colleges?
I need to look at the percentage, but it's like top 3 in the nation. So if SC is 9.9, it's less than that.
She's stuck on this 9.9.
I dropped it.
All right, Candice, you got any final thoughts after watching last night's game?
Zachariah Branch, walk yourself on over to that brand new building sitting right there across from Howard Jones, that 3-tiered, it's beautiful sitting on the track. Quincy Watts, gold medalist at USC, would absolutely love to have a conversation about. He would love to have you on that 4x1. When spring ball starts to die down, we need you for this track team. You are explosive. You are electric. I am looking forward to watching Zachariah Branch and get to know the other weapons as well. But I'm all about the speed. So fight on from Ann Arbor with that.
Go ahead, Ryan. What you got?
Yeah, good to be 1-0. A lot to build on. Excited for practice this week to see any improvements. And that offense is elite. Let's see if we can get the defense buttoned up a little more. But great game. Good to be. Let's just say this. Just happy college football is back. That's the biggest thing. College football is back. The long summer is finally over. And we get, 11 to 12 straight weeks of football, which is great.
Yep. I want to thank Stone Brewing for putting us in those dope ass suites yesterday.
Yes.
I thought Ryan would have thanked this, but I'll thank Stone Brewing for putting it.
Thank you.
We have the Fight on Pale Ale, great beer. I think the measuring stick is not as long as people think it is. It was a week 0 game. I think one more week of practice, they would have been a lot better. I don't think they're going to get worse if they stay healthy, but you can't coach the injuries, right? It's just one of those things. Like, I think there's a lot of potential. People you need to watch for: Zachariah Branch, Austin Jones. We already know Caleb Williams. You need to watch out for Mason Cobb. You also need to watch out for Muhammad. He's not bad either. The safeties are going to be I can't cuss. The safeties are going to be dangerous. The safeties are going to be really good. Number 7. I really like number 7. What's number 7 name, Ryan? Caleb Bullock. And 4 is
Max Williams.
Max Williams is only a sophomore, right? Or he's a junior this year.
I think so. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Max Williams and Caleb Bullock are really good, and they should be on the Thorpe list. I think Caleb's on the Thorpe list, right? He's on the Thorpe watch list, right? He was
Kalen, yeah. Kalen, I think so, yeah.
They're good.
And we haven't even mentioned Zion Branch. He's gonna get in the rotation. I mean, he's gonna get in there.
Bear Alexander is a man in the middle. He's a man in the middle. It's week 1, and I get to be hard because I went there. You guys don't get to be hard. Just like when I parked at Trade Tech. So I just took the train over. This dude was like, they're going to have to get a lot bigger to play in the Big Ten. I said, when was the last time a Big Ten team beat USC? He was like, I'm like, yeah, there's a Pac-12 Big Ten. There's a Pac-12 Big Ten commitment for the Rose Bowl. When was the last time it really happened? He was like,
it was like 1989, and I've been trying to get this. My grandpa has a sweatshirt framed in plexiglass because he's a Michigan.
Right. Come on, guys. There's a lot. Also, there's a rule where freshmen get 4 games before they can redshirt now, right? So they had the freshman in. Who is the freshman?
What side of the ball?
Offense from Los Al. We were talking about him.
Oh, Malachi Nelson.
Yeah. Malachi Nelson's probably going to redshirt. He threw a pass yesterday into the dirt, and everybody got upset. I had to defend him like he's 18 years old. This time last year, he was playing high school
Coming off his surgery in the
like,
spring.
Come on, guys. Relax. There's a lot of the fact that you see in a lot of these freshmen out there on blowout games, they're not even going to play. They're going to redshirt.
He's a freshman.
I understand, but he's okay. Look, okay. Put it like this: the third and fourth quarter freshmen are different from the second half freshmen are different from the first half freshmen, right?
Absolutely.
The second half freshmen were still pretty good. They only gave up 1 touchdown. There was a bunch of scrubs in on defense. That's what people don't understand. And Ryan pointed it out to me. I was like, damn, they gave up another. He was like, there's a bunch of subs in. And then when you looked at the numbers, I'm like, freshman, sophomore, redshirt freshman. SC is really, really good. And they're going to be really good for
this year.
Yeah. They have all 85 guys on scholarship. They are going to be really good for a really long time. Just give it some time. People forget. This is also what people forget. 2 years ago, SC won 4 games. Last year, SC won 12 games.
Facts.
Right? They are way ahead of schedule. This is supposed to be the first competitive year. They weren't supposed to be that competitive last year. This is supposed to be the first competitive year. They're way ahead of schedule. We're talking national championship or bust. I don't think that we are even there yet. Unfortunately, we're going to lose Caleb Williams, but guess what? We got somebody named Miller Moss that's just as good and can run faster than Caleb Williams, believe it or not. So we're not too much worried about Caleb going to be the first overall pick because we got number 7.
I wouldn't say just as good, but yes, talented still.
Miller Moss is going to be good. He's not.
Oh, he's no slouch.
Yeah, he's not going to be. Put it like this: it's going to be a different style from Caleb Williams. That's the thing. So it's not going to be just like Caleb Williams. Miller Moss is going to be more of a pocket presence, and when he scrambles, he's going to get big scrambles that can lead to touchdowns.
Yeah, it'll be like going from Matt Leinart to John David Booty. A lot of talent, but just not the same level.
No, it'll be like going from Carson and Matt. It'll be like going from Carson and Matt. Don't do that to Miller. Miller Moss is going to be good.
John David Booty was great. John David Booty's like the most underrated SC quarterback of all time.
It's going from all right. Well, I'm saying next. It's going from Carson. It's going from Carson to Matt. Can we do that at least?
I mean, that'd be great if that's the case. I haven't seen to say that. I mean, I haven't seen we've seen 50 total passes, so I don't know if I can say that, but
it'll be all right. But like I said, we're ahead of schedule, so we'll be okay. We're good, definitely. So no panic. It might be they might give up 28 points next week against Nevada, but it's okay. Let's look at the numbers. I'm not going to judge the defense next week until I look at the numbers. I will keep that promise to you. So
well, you
definitely.
look at the numbers, and I'm going to look at the fans' eye because you broke
Okay.
it down. I'm a little concerned. I'm like, wait, what? Huh? You don't got to be a numbers elite defensive back, secondary coach to be like, that didn't, something's missing. So I'll be the perspective, you break it down.
Okay.
Ryan will fact check your stats because he's got that damn.
Got that. Wait until we do a podcast with Jamal and Jamal starts rolling out stats. You're like, God dang, Jamal. You like, hold on, let me check this. This Logan Dolo does not like Bear. He could. I will volunteer you to go block him, Logan, since you don't like Bear so much, because Bear is a very good one technique. I watched it with my own eyes. That's what a one technique is. It's not about sacks at one technique. It's about getting the quarterback to scramble. But if you want to talk ball, we could talk ball. Anyway, I'm sorry. He's just throwing a lot of stuff over there. That's just anyway. Okay. Definitely. Hey, good news for you guys. We're on twice a week. Salute Your Trojans on twice a week. Will be Monday and Thursday. But when will it be out? Will it be out Tuesday and Friday, Ryan?
Most likely.
Most likely. So we'll be out Tuesday. We'll be out Tuesday and Friday. But you get to catch your girl Candice. Now Ryan Dyru's on the podcast every now and then. We'll get Jamal. You guys will love the Madman. But it's been great. I enjoyed it. Hey, just the season has started. We're just getting rolling. Candice, don't worry. We're okay. You got a lot of concern on your face. Don't worry, Candice. We'll be okay.
So, Ryan, I don't know if you know, I'm helping coach out the number 25 team in the country, number 1 in Michigan, back-to-back state champions. They say that we have the best quarterback. His name is Bryce Underwood. He's got a nice offensive lineman who's about 6'5", definitely tipping over 330, big boy. His name is Mo. I'm going to send you his stats. He could definitely protect our quarterback. Yeah, I just came to Ryan, so it came to mind.
Get Coach Riley on speed dial. Get Coach Riley on speed dial.
Riley's been out here once or twice to check out Bryce, and I told Al the other day, Penn State dropped the helicopter on the football field. So Riley is definitely a fan of Bryce, and maybe we can make him a fan of Mo to protect our future quarterback.
Well,
I like that.
Well, you know what they say? What they say in the Field of Dreams: if you build it, they will come.
I think you got to drop the mic on that.
If you build it, they'll come. Definitely. Hey, it's been a pleasure, guys. You guys enjoy. Ryan, you enjoy the rest of the morning. Candice, you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I like you guys. It's been great. You know how it goes. Oh, this has been the Bet Online Salute Detroit live podcast recapping the game from Saturday. We'll see you guys next week. Let you know how it goes. Live free, fight on. Thanks.